Truth be told, top players were once regular players with no accolades to their name. For instance, in 2010, Bayern Munich had Thomas Müller, Toni Kroos, and David Alaba, three seemingly ordinary players trying to make their mark in the world of European football. Fast forward to 2024, one of them is a legendary Bundesliga striker with 11 league titles. The other, arguably the best midfielder of this generation, and Alba is a world-class defender. But also in 2024, another club has some hidden gems that are gonna blow up in a big way. Today, we look at these three Juventus players that are quiet storms at the Italian side. First up is Turkish forward Kenan Yıldız, showing so much potential at just 19 years old. It's no surprise he's got football fans talking. Born in Germany, Yıldız joined the Bayern Munich Youth Academy at the age of 7. He soon worked his way up to their youth categories, often acting as captain. His contract eventually expired at the German club, making him a free agent. But while Bayern were willing to let the youngster go, other major clubs had their eyes on him, like Liverpool and Arsenal. Even FC Barcelona struggled to get the teenager's signature. But the club itself was going through a financial crisis in that period. And so when Juventus made Yıldız an offer, he couldn't refuse. Barca were unable to up their price. And so, on July 12, 2022, Kenan Yıldız signed for Juventus, where it only took a few months for head coach Max Allegri to add him to the senior team. Yıldız is described as a modern midfielder and is known for his strong passing and shots from outside the box. You could say he's like the Turkish version of young KDB. He's also known for his excellent technique, and like De Bruyne, his most natural role is as a playmaker. He's great at receiving the ball on the half-turn, which is a highly important skill for a high-end playmaker. But while the half space is his preferred area, Yıldız also has an affinity for drifting wide into a left-wing position where he can use his direct carrying, dribbling, and deceptive quickness to progress the ball and take on defenders. When in these wider positions, he naturally favours coming inside onto his right foot, so adding more unpredictability to his game and making things more difficult for opposition defenders. Becoming a more consistent two-way threat when in wide positions would make him virtually impossible to stop in 1v1 situations, as he's shown the ability to use his left foot when needed. But one area that may need some work is his finishing. He's certainly capable, but it then becomes a matter of becoming a more mature decision maker, knowing when to shoot, where to shoot, how to shoot, that sort of thing. But nonetheless, on his current trajectory, Yıldız can become a world-class player much sooner than some might expect. But that's contingent on this player receiving the opportunity to play and taking advantage of those opportunities when they arrive. And with rumours of Dusan Vlahovic leaving Juventus, this kid may just be what the club needs to get back on the Serie A title streak. But he certainly can't do it alone. One other player at Juventus that's starting to get everyone's attention is Italian midfielder Nicolò Fagioli. Fagioli, however, has been at Juventus since 2015 when he joined the under-17 team. 2 seasons later, Fagioli was promoted to the under-19 side, where he scored 13 goals in 25 games. For a midfielder, that's a very decent amount of goals, and with performances like that, you can imagine it didn't take long for him to make the first team. But before that, the club wanted the youngster to get more first-team experience, so they did what they always do in such situations. They sent him on a loan. After loan spells to Cremonese, where he helped the club promote to Serie A for the first time since 1996, Fagioli insisted on being allowed to stay at Juventus and fight for a place. The player eventually signed a deal with the club to stay until 2026. And later, he was glad he dug his heels in, because as the injury list grew, coach Max Allegri was forced to press him into service, giving him sporadic appearances in the opening games of the 22-23 season. His debut goal for the first team was followed by a start against PSG, followed by inclusion in the starting 11 the following weekend against Inter Milan, where Fagioli once again got on the scoresheet, capping his full Serie A debut with a goal against Juve's biggest rivals. However, at such a premature stage in his career, Fagioli was already facing scandal. He missed 8 months of action due to a betting ban, but luckily for the young midfielder, he appeared to have learned his lesson and managed to put his personal life back together. His little scandal didn't seem to affect his playing levels at all, as he managed to make a positive impact immediately following his return. Fagioli's first appearance following the suspension was in the away trip to Bologna on the penultimate round of the season. He helped his team mount a comeback from 0-3 to 3-3 following his introduction, so it's safe to say he was the only reason they didn't lose. Fagioli is a centre midfielder, but can also move down the pitch as a defensive midfielder. Fagioli has also played as a second striker. He has often been compared to Andrea Pirlo due to his playing style. And much like Pirlo, his main qualities include his vision, technique, and long passing ability. Although, He is also an effective ball winner. The next youth player, however, is less known. You've probably never even heard of him. Say hello to Alessandro Di Pardo, another Italian player who is signed by Juventus, except he currently plays as right back or midfielder for Cagliari on loan. They say the contract has an option to buy as well, which means Juventus are willing to sell. But with the potential the Cagliari defender possesses, this might be a decision Juventus will come to regret. But even if these players are showing signs of becoming world-class players in the future, chances are they won't stay at Juventus for long, especially not Kenan Yildiz. I mean, the only reason he is at Juventus in the first place is because they offered him more money than Barcelona. So what's going to happen when a super-rich club like PSG, or God forbid, a Saudi Pro League club makes him an even more irresistible offer? He's certainly not going to turn it down. But at this early stage in his career, he should be more focused on growth and development. Then money second. The other two players will probably leave sooner or later too, because let's face it, not a lot of top players like to stay at a club like Juventus, unless you are a Marco Reus kind of player. Not saying Juventus is a terrible club. Every fan knows it has prolific history, but it's not just one of those clubs who keeps top players for long. Anyway, what do you think about these potential gems currently signed to Juventus? Let us know in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to keep seeing more content like this. See you around.